Hello, ladies and gentlemen. We have good news for you today. The surprising news that came from Spain. Spain has appointed a minister for sex to urge couples to have more babies and devote the nation's plummeting birth rate. Culture of long working hours and late night is blamed for the nation's sex famine. Spain has appointed its first minister of sex, whose job will be to get people busy between the sheets. The government hopes to boost Spain's failing birth rate, which is one of the lowest in the developed world. Prime Minister Mariano Rajoy appointed Admiral Barrios as the country's sex star to get Spaniards to produce more babies. The country is faced with a population crisis with fewer births than deaths recorded for the first time last year. Experts say long working hours and a culture of eating late at night and going to bed after midnight are partly to blame for the sex nations that famine. Rafael Puyol of the AIE Business School in Madrid said they do not help with making a family. Then, when a child arrives, it is even worse. So, Spanish women also have live it later to have children, having their first child aged about 32 on average, the oldest in Europe. The Institute for Family Policies blames the impact of the economic crisis for why many women are having children later in life. Spain's education ministry said that the declining birth rate aggravates other economic imbalances and generates important impacts in the welfare state. Spanish newsletter ABC reported this. The Spanish sex star sounds like one of those vacuum made-up sex. It's like equivalent steamer, but the sex position is all too real. In an effort to help correct Spain's population decline, the country's government appointed Edelmira Barriera to serve as its official commissioner for the demographic challenge, Spain's ABC reported. Last year, Spain saw the number of deaths outpace the number of births for the first time, which means that its total population shrank. Spain's total fertility rate is one of the lowest in the developed world. Women between ages of 18 to 49 have an average of 1.3 children, which is below the EU average of 1.58 children and America's average of 1.82. A representative from the Spain's education ministry told that birth rate decline aggravates other economic imbalances and generates important impacts in the welfare state. Barrera, demographics expert, is currently tasked with creating a national strategy to correct the demographic imbalances and presents it to Spanish Prime Minister Mariano Rajoy. It will most likely be something boring and technical rather than a support sex suggestions, like playing Barry White over the national radio or giving out tax credits or legacies. Dear brothers and sisters, it is very amazing that some countries are failing in having a sex or having babies due to they are busy by works and by their jobs, but other countries are having too many children and babies more than even their capacity. If you take, for example, Chinese and Indians, most countries in Africa like Nigeria, Egypt, Ethiopia, they are the most largely expanded populations in the world, but they are the most worst country in the world. It's very difficult that when the equality for the sexual equality or gender equality has explained more women goes for the for job and every day and every time and the time for the sex, even they don't have time for sex and they don't have the time for giving birth, so that this bringing that the declaration of the population in developed countries